All right, so in this episode of Paint Talk, I'm going to get into the 10 best lessons that I learned from 15 years of oil painting. Getting old. All right, welcome to Paint Talk, the weekly show where I sit, have a cup of coffee, and just kind of talk about oil painting. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I'm here to help simplify oil painting so that you can get better faster. All right, lesson number one. I learned that oil painting can be what I wanted it to be. I started out drawing when I was like 3 years old, and then I started using acrylics and watercolors at like age 9 and didn't start oil painting until I was around 17. And before I started oil painting, I did have a lot of preconceived notions of what oil painting was. And, you know, it was scary. It was intimidating. It was this very prestigious medium and it was expensive. I thought that it required like a very intricate process and was done a certain way. I really didn't know anything about oil painting. All I knew was like Michelangelo used oil paints. So oil paints had this like very big mystical quality to them. But then I took my first painting course and I actually got lucky and got an instructor that I really liked. And he showed me that oil painting can be many different things. I went in there and just day one, he just gave me some paint, some paint thinner, some linseed oil, and we just started painting. It was great, and it showed me how accessible oil painting can be. And you can be a painter that just paints something new every day. There's a lot of people like that. And the thing is, I see a lot of people starting out that think that every time they do an oil painting, it has to be on a big canvas and has to take a lot of time, and it's all about the detail, and they want to know about, what mediums to use and when, and the process and it drying and layering, all this stuff. And it can be like that. If that's what you're into, definitely go for it, but it doesn't have to be that way. So like if you find yourself always starting large, big paintings and never finishing them, or feeling a lot of resistance to continue working on them, try changing it up. Try, painting smaller, quicker paintings. The key thing is just make oil painting what you want it to be. All right, the second lesson that I learned is that oil painting is addictive. As soon as I started using oil paints, I never went back to acrylics and watercolors. And once you paint for enough time, you start to develop kind of like an obsession with it a bit, a healthy obsession. But I just found myself getting really addicted to the process and to getting better. And it really became something that I had to do every day to feel good that day. It was like brushing my teeth. And all of the painters that I've interacted with that are, way beyond me in terms of experience, pretty much all of them paint every day of the week. And granted, yeah, it is their profession. That's how they're making a living, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because it's just so much fun. And I see it a lot in my students. The ones that progress the most are the ones that get addicted to getting better and addicted to pushing themselves and seeing what they can do and never being fully satisfied with where they're at. So watch out. Oil painting is addicting. All right, the third lesson that I learned is having a good instructor can help a lot. So as I was growing up, I was drawing and painting all the time, but I never really had a great relationship with any of my art teachers in school. I actually had a lot of bad relationships with them. And even though I got voted most artistic in high school, I still got a D in art, I think, my senior year. I knew one teacher that I feel like I could count the amount of times that she actually got up out of her seat. And this wasn't a great thing because I developed a bad relationship with just getting instruction. I wasn't excited about it. But then, like I said, I took an oil painting class outside of my school. The instructor I got, Thomas Van Auken, was incredible. And I was like, whoa, this is what I've been missing. This is so great. I was blown away when he actually would paint with the class. If you're taking an in-person class and your instructor isn't painting in there with you, or at least doing a 20-minute demonstration at the beginning of class, or stopping class and be like, hey, come take a look at this, and just showing you something here or there, I'd be skeptical about taking that class. I'm not gonna say they're a bad instructor, I don't know, but just that fact alone, just seeing somebody paint, seeing someone actually do it is so helpful. I couldn't imagine not doing that at some point during a class. All right, lesson number 4 is learning to oil paint is a lot like radar. Radar works by they shoot a signal out, it bounces off something, it comes back, and you do that enough times and you can measure and figure out what's ahead of you. Man, I sound stupid trying to explain that. But what I'm trying to say is you always have to be putting something out there so it can come back at you, and then you can adjust. And you keep doing that enough times and you get a sense of where to go. And you can do this with an instructor. You do a painting, the instructor sees it, they give you feedback, you try again, you go back and forth. But you can do this on your own. You can do a painting, assess it, see where you need to get better, and then focus on that on the next painting. But you need to be doing a lot of paintings. You need to be sending out as many signals as you can. Like, it's gonna take a lot of paintings to just figure out what you don't know. This is why I always recommend to beginners to only do paintings that take a max of 3 sittings. And you don't need to worry about how good they are. Like, you're gonna have a lot of bad paintings at the beginning. Like, you need to be doing a lot of fast, bad paintings. That's the only way that you're gonna learn. All right, lesson number 5. I learned that I didn't need to worry about finding or developing my own style. You know, for many years, like, I really worried about that, and I thought, man, like, I got no style. I paint a lot of different subject matter. I paint portraits, I paint landscapes, I paint still lifes. I didn't feel compelled to only paint just one subject. I felt like I would get bored of that, and I was worried. I was like, should I be focusing on like developing a certain style or only painting a certain subject matter? And you hear people say like, oh, they should be able to look at your painting and tell that it's yours, and if you want to sell your work, like, you got to have your style and your brand and the thing that people like about your work. A lot of that is true, but I feel that the only way to figure that out is just to paint, and it will come. It's gonna take a lot of painting. Your style or what you like will come to the surface. You will just naturally start painting in a certain way, or you'll naturally just start being gravitated to certain subjects. So don't worry about it, just paint. All right, lesson 6. I learned that teaching will make you a lot better. Like, I really didn't think I would be that good of a teacher because I was mostly self-taught, and like, when you're self-taught, you really become kind of like an instinctual painter, and you really don't know why it is that you do certain things while you paint, so it's hard to explain to people. And I hear that a lot from other oil painters, like, oh, I could never teach, you know, I could never explain what I do, I just kind of feel it out. And I understand that, but if you take the time to try and teach somebody, and you don't have to be like a master oil painter to do this, like, just try and teach somebody who doesn't know as much as you, and it will really make you take a look at your process. And when you do that, you will see the holes in your process, and you'll really see what you know and what you don't know, and where you're cutting corners, and where you're like trying to take shortcuts, what you lean on as crutches, things you avoid because you're not that good at. So if like somebody's like, hey, like, can you teach me how to oil paint? You know, show them. 1, it's fun to help people, and 2, it will definitely make you better. All right, lesson number 7 is I learned that I learned oil painting kind of in reverse. In that when I started painting, or even like when I started drawing, you know, this goes back to even acrylics and watercolors, like, I never did a lot of the exercises that you're supposed to do, or like focus on the fundamentals. Like, I was just painting stuff. I would just paint a portrait, landscapes, this or that. And I just learned through painting things that I wanted to paint. And I was presented at certain times and like knew like, oh, you should focus on values. You need to focus on simplification, this or that. And I never took the time to actually do that or do studies. Once I painted enough and I saw the areas in my paintings that needed to be improved, and I had that firsthand experience of painting, I then understood why these things were so important, why the fundamentals of oil painting are so important, why certain exercises are important. Like, I had no real interest in that at first, but once I gained experience painting, I understood their importance and their application, and then I was actually excited to go do those things. Okay, lesson number 8. I learned that you will only be a starving artist if you want to. For the longest time, I thought, oh, if you're a painter, you're just, you know, you're bound to not be really making any money. Yeah, there's galleries. How many people sell a lot of work? You know, just a lot of things just didn't make sense to me. I would see painters that I thought were like really amazing, and you know, their work didn't really sell that much work, but then somebody that paints an abstract piece that looks like it took 10 minutes to paint is selling it for millions of dollars. And I'm just like, what is this world? Like, what is this business? I don't want to have anything to do with this. But especially now with the internet, there are just so many different ways to make a living as a painter and make a good living as a painter. I definitely wish I would have known about that earlier. And I wish that there was more information out there about what it's like financially for painters. Like, I still don't know. Like, I still don't know a lot of like what a financial year looks like for certain painters. And that stuff's, you know, important. Like, especially if you're a young person trying to pick what you want to do in life and you have really no idea like what it's like financially and like what are the opportunities to make money at painting. And I feel like everybody just kind of knows the one way, which is, oh, get good at painting and sell your stuff in galleries for lots of money. Yeah, that's one way. And what if that way doesn't work out or doesn't go that well? Are there other ways? And the answer is yes, there are. And if you want to take the time to actually learn the business skills to succeed in that, you will. Now, I actually don't talk that much about like art and business and financial stuff and selling your work and this or that on this channel, because I feel like a lot of people watching this channel just, you know, want to learn the process of oil painting. But if anybody out there wants me to start making more videos on kind of that side of stuff, let me know in the comment section. All right, lesson number 9. I learned that it is so great to have a tangible craft that I can do every day, especially in this weird digital age, just to have something that I can physically work on and see improvement day to day, I feel like is so valuable, and just mentally can really help you learn how to learn. I feel like there's a certain gratification you get when you make something with your hands and the end product is a direct correlation to your effort and your skill level. And there's nothing really more satisfying than doing a painting that you look at and you're like, wow, like I've come a long way. And you know, you look at a painting you did a year ago and you think, wow, like I never would have thought I could improve that much. And that inspires you because you realize, oh, by next year I'll be at another level that I don't think I can get to now. That can translate into other things in your life, and you can realize you can do a lot more than you think you can because you understand how to get better at something. And you figure, oh, I've done it with painting, I can do it with this or that. And you know, oil painting is not easy. It can get really frustrating. That's part of it too. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, oil painting, like it's just fun, relaxing and soothing all the time. It's a great way to relax. And it's like, not really. Like, it's a different type of enjoyment. And if it wasn't as frustrating and difficult as it was, it wouldn't be nearly as rewarding and fun to do. All right, and lesson number 10. I learned that the more that I learn about painting, the more I understand how much I don't know. It's so weird. The better you get, the more you see how much more there is to learn. And it's like, oh, wow, like this is never gonna stop, which is great. I think it's important for people starting out to understand that, so you don't think that there's some end place that you need to get to. Like, there is no destination. Like, you shouldn't be thinking like, oh, there's a certain level that I want to get to and then I'd be satisfied with my work. Like, you never really will be fully satisfied, which I think is important. But it's really all about the process, not the end product. You should be painting for that time that you're painting and that experience while you're painting, not exactly the paintings that come from it. All right, so those are the 10 lessons I learned. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see what I'm painting on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Forza43. I'm Chris Fornatero here telling you to go get painting.